It all started with a random message on a dating app. I was scrolling through the profiles, looking for someone interesting when I saw his picture. He was tall, with dark hair and piercing blue eyes. He had a kind of rugged handsomeness that was hard to resist. His profile said he was a writer, which intrigued me. We started chatting, and he seemed like a really cool guy. We had a lot in common, and we talked for hours on end. One day, he asked me if I wanted to meet up. I was hesitant at first. I mean, you never know with these online things, right? But he seemed so genuine, so sincere. He even sent me a picture of his driver's license to prove he was who he said he was. So, I agreed. We met at a coffee shop downtown. He was even more handsome in person. He was wearing a long, dark trench coat, which seemed a little out of place for a summer day, but I didn't think much of it. We talked for hours, and I felt like I was getting to know him really well. He was funny, intelligent, and charming. We even talked about meeting up again soon. But something about him just felt off. There was a darkness behind his eyes, a coldness in his demeanor that I couldn't quite shake. He kept mentioning his work as a writer, but he never really explained what he wrote about. He just seemed to enjoy the mystery surrounding it. After our coffee date, he started texting me more and more. He'd send me messages late at night, even when I was trying to sleep. He'd ask me personal questions, things that felt a little too intrusive. He'd even send me links to his website, where he posted his writing. The writing was strange. It was dark, twisted, and disturbing. It was filled with violence and imagery that made me feel uneasy. I tried to talk to him about it, but he just brushed it off. He said it was just his way of expressing himself. One night, he sent me a message that made my blood run cold. He said he was watching me. He knew where I lived, where I worked, and even what I was doing at that very moment. He said he was coming to see me. I was terrified. I immediately blocked him on all my social media accounts, changed my phone number, and even considered moving. I felt like I was being stalked, hunted. The next day, I went to the police. I told them everything. They took my statement, but they weren't very helpful. They said there wasn't enough evidence to do anything. They told me to be careful and to try to stay safe. I was so scared. I couldn't shake the feeling that he was still out there, watching me. I started sleeping with the lights on, and I was constantly looking over my shoulder. One day, I was walking home from work when I saw him. He was standing across the street, wearing that same long, dark trench coat. He had a smirk on his face, and he was staring at me. I ran. I ran as fast as I could, but he was faster. He caught up to me, and he grabbed my arm. "Where do you think you're going?" he asked. His voice was cold and menacing. I screamed for help, but no one was around. He dragged me into an alleyway, and I knew I was in trouble. That's when I woke up. It was just a dream, but it felt so real. I never saw him again, but I never forgot him. He left a lasting impression on me, a chilling reminder of the dangers of online interactions and the potential for deception. I still check my social media accounts for any sign of him, but he's gone. Or maybe he's just waiting for the right moment to strike again.